Bang, bang, not a gang. Thank you guys for coming to the Gold Gridiron podcast with your host, Will. You guys could be anywhere else, but you're here today, so that means the world to me. Thank you, man. But unfortunately, we have some bad news, man. The 49ers officially did not pick up Trent Williams' $10 million option. But there's some good news in that, though. It's not just completely bad news. I think since we didn't pick up his option, I think he has a $47 million cap hit. So that's obviously not a good thing. And also, I think he has no more guaranteed money. So I think, that right there tells a lot, So, yeah, he has no more guaranteed money, but the 49ers are willing to work out a deal. It's Trent Williams, dude. It's not freaking Mike McGlinchey, Um, a player like that, you just don't let him go easily. You know what I'm saying? I think as 49er fans, and I'm sure I was about to say Redskins fans, oh God, Commanders fans will tell you, that's a special player. That's a generational player, man. You just if the 49ers just let him go, that's silly, Even though the Commanders let him go for a bag of chips, we're not the Commanders, so it is what it is, that situation. But you know, when Christian McCaffrey, Isaac Guerrero, any running back on our roster runs behind Trent Williams, I'm sure that they feel like they're good. I feel like they can get an extra 5, maybe 10 yards. You know what I'm saying? It's Trent Williams, dude. If I ran behind Trent Williams, I'm confident. And I ain't ran a football in my life. So it's really important that we cater to Trent Williams, and but at the same time, I will say this: although I do love the Silverback, I am not afraid to get Caden Proctor out of Alabama. I'm not against that. That dude is built like he's bigger than Trent Williams. And you can't say that about a lot of people. He's bigger than Trent Williams. Does not mean he's better though. Trent Williams is Trent Williams, dude. That's just it's special player, man. But if I had to pick whether do I want to keep him or kind of look elsewhere, I don't know about the dead cap situation. I kind of got to do a little bit more research. I'm not going to give any, tell you guys any lies and whatnot because I don't know what the situation is with that. But I think, man, we all know who Trent Williams is. You know what I'm saying? A squirrel knows who Trent Williams is. But my thing is, it's seeming like it's always a money situation every offseason with Trent Williams. I can't lie. It's paying a offensive tackle 30 million. It's the market. It's unfortunate, but it's the market. He ain't running the football, but he's doing a lot. But as a former football player, I can genuinely say there are more positions that you would want to pay first. But in reality, it is what it is. At the end, I'm not paying them. You're not paying them, so maybe you are. You never know. But it's we have to see what happens, man. If there's a lot of good tackles in this draft, I hope we don't have to get to that point. Like I said, Kyle Shanahan loves Trent Williams. I think Mike Shanahan was with him when Trent was a rookie. But might have to fact check that. But he loves his family. And they've been really close for a while. So we'll see the situation with Trent Williams. He completely stands out in that offensive line, man. I can say without Trent Williams, that offensive line is a liability. You got Colton McKivitz at the left tackle, at the right tackle. I'm sorry, at the right tackle, and he has his moments though, man. I'm not one of those people that's just gonna knock him consistently. He has his moments. In the playoffs, he got beat a few times, but he's definitely improved. He definitely improved. Who else? Dominique Puni, if I said it right. He's been a little bit on the decline, but he shows a little upside. I think it's only his second year. So give the guy some grace. Center Jake Brendel. I think he was probably a part of 9/11. I think he's definitely a part of the Taliban. No doubt about that. But Jake Brendel, he's something, man. I'm being funny when I said I can tell a joke with a straight face. Guys get used to it. What else? I think at our left guard we have, I don't want to say Spencer Burford. It's somebody that I'm missing. I can't think of his name. Ben Barch. I think Ben Barch is he's good. You know, I hope he gets healthy because he's pretty solid, man. He's pretty solid. And of course, you got the silverback Trent Williams. So you look at that offensive line, man. It don't look too good. It ain't too shabby. So, you know, we'll see how that plays out. Another thing that sticks out to me is his age, man. His age. You know, Trent Williams is not getting any younger, man. And but he's still. I'm not sitting here saying his play is declining. Of course, he's not what I don't want to say what he used to be because he kind of gave up a few pressures this year. But let me tell you something. Uh, beat up Trent Williams is still a top 10 tackle in this league, and that's crazy to say, but it's facts. You know, Trent Williams is just he's one of the goats, man. You know, you gotta give respect where it's due. An unbiased opinion. I can be a little biased at times, but you know, you always got to keep it real about your team. You know, whether you can say a guy sucks or whether a guy's good. You know, let's be real with ourselves here. You know, but it's Trent Williams. I hope they work it out. You know, we'll see what happens. If they don't, hey man, next man up. You know, pay the next man. That's all it is. But that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video. Again, guys, this is my second video. You know, I thank you guys so much for watching, man. You guys, it would mean a lot if you guys could like, comment, subscribe. Man, look, get in them comments, man. Let's talk football, man. Like, you know, I'm always in the comments, you know, seeing who's texting and whatnot. You know, let's have a good conversation about some football, man. Football is the language that I speak, and you know, it's something that I love, and it's my passion, man. So, just a little background. You know, I'm actually in college to be a football coach, and you know, I just know the game. Different formations and whatnot. And you know, if I just started speaking, you know, formations and techniques, and you know, y'all would be like, man, is he speaking English? I am, you know, but I'm just being funny, man. But let's talk some football, man. Let's have a good time. You know, I'm gonna take this as, you know, I'm fully committed to this, man. I love the content. You know, I don't have to be a super big streamer. I don't have to be a big podcaster. You know, I feel like as long as you do something that you love, you know, you have nothing to worry about, man. But and all my videos are strictly just off the dome, man. You know, so you know, thank you guys for watching again, man. God bless you all. Okay, have a good evening. Bye bye.